VERTEX.
Maybe there's a chance for VERTEX. That is a very different storyline to the one that we've been telling in this series so far. And so, it's the best opportunity VERTEX has had, we feel like, in this series so far. And they've already grasped one map away from Order. What a win it would be to take Order out of the competition in IEM Fall. I think would be the first time, pretty much since these top 4 tournaments have been a thing, that one of Renegades, LFO, or Order has not actually made it into the top 3. And so that would be a big win for VERTEX, even if it doesn't mean they can qualify for the major or anything like that. And it certainly would be a weight off the shoulders of Renegades as well, in terms of that qualification spot. But either way, we're into the pistol, need to focus on that. Addict is starting strong for VERTEX, and you get the sense that this storyline that we've started to sell is not just a possibility. It could well be a reality if things continue to go the way they have been. PZ will drop, however, and we're back to a 4-on-3.
Yeah, Order hasn't started well for them. The initial entries into the site, a lot of them going the way of VERTEX, some sharp pistol shots being hit. An Order, they cut sound. They're trying to sow some seeds of doubt in VERTEX's mind, and you've started to see some rotations come out. This is creating gaps in the defense for Ricky to abuse, and he's done beautifully to find that headshot. But Addict, again, super on point, instant trade back.
3 kills so far in the pistol. Apoc Dud's going to grab another one for VERTEX.
Oh.
And Addict, I mean, he almost gets the ace in that pistol round. What a performance, most of which was done on low HP. So VERTEX get the pistol win on map number 3. They'll get the buy through here. And all they have to do now, Pilski, is stave off the pistol force from Order. And I don't know if it's fair to say all they have to do, because that has been something that has really been a talking point in this series.
Well, you were talking about the last time. When was the last time we saw a top 3 team not being in that grand final or not being in the top couple of spots in the tournament? Well, the last time that did happen was a little tournament called ESCA Season 37, and the team that did go into the grand final instead of X-Direwolves or instead of Order, or instead of Renegades rather, I think it was. No, it was instead of Order, was actually VERTEX. So it would be not completely crazy for them to try and do it again. We have the force buy in here for Order. And trying to put the pieces together here, trying to take some control of bathrooms, but these are awkward fights to be taken with the pistols.
Yeah, PZ better off just putting that smoke down, and so he's not going to have to worry too much about the fight that's coming toward him. He does have the backup of Addict, but he really wants to ensure that he doesn't drop the AUG. That's one of the premium weapons on the side of VERTEX right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting smoke to see dropped by PZ, because this is usually a smoke you'll see on the T side default when you're trying to take that bathroom's control. Either way, the CT is kind of running out of utility. That could have been a timing there on towards long, and indeed it is. Vexite putting the Deagle to good work. Had a bit of a quiet map in the last one on Ancient, but he's a player that I'm looking for to get warmed up in towards map number 3 here, and they're going to leave him at long. The rest of Order wrapping back towards his B site.
Addict has lost his life now as well, so it's just motion with the MP9. They weren't expecting an extra player on that line. Fair enough. But it's only 1 kill pegged back, and now Apoc Dud has a mighty job to do on this site. He knows he's getting wrapped upon by Valiant, turns around and dispatches of him, and keeps it alive for VERTEX. Eventually, he'll drop. Motion has spotted Ricky dropping into water, but Gyra's there as well. An awkward fight for Motion to take. He needs to find a way to isolate these duels, and he just hasn't quite been able to do so. And 4A1S is going to be picked up. Maybe he feels a bit more confident with that one, but eventually we go back to the AUG, and it's not quite going to go his way. So, Order, peg another one back. It's just another instance of a pistol round won by a CT side that doesn't get converted.
Well, the anti-force, yeah, not working out for them. Great deagling out of Vexite. Order just called the audible, rotating straight through connector back to that B site, and that catches VERTEX with their pants down. If there was any good news, of which there is very little for VERTEX, Order didn't pick up any real rifles off the back of winning that round. They only get an MP9 out of that equation, so actually they have to spend a lot of money reinvesting into this round, and they do have a fair few SMGs up against the Deagles and the Scout.
He's close with the Deagle. Timing could well have favored him there. The flash comes through, and it's a good one. He actually gets a shot onto Vexite's head. He was aiming at Gyra, but it's going to work out. He's gotten a kill. He's done a lot of damage, and he's set Order back a step as well.
Yeah, I think he thought he killed Gyra and started to try to make that adjustment over to that other player. Doesn't work out well for him. Addict, so key in the pistol round. Here's a lot of these footsteps, and as a result, you're going to see a B-site stack here for Vertex. This could be disastrous for Order. Smoke combs onto Monster. That's going to buy time for the players to get into position, and Addict is still good for a flank here. Not sure if he feels comfortable risking it, though. He's just sitting in the backside of Connector.
On 4, not the worst place to be for Vertex. Got 2 players defending the monster tunnel, though Apocdud is obviously focusing a little bit more on what might come from short. Addict on the wrap behind is going to be a big piece of the puzzle here for Vertex, but he'll need to pick up the pace a little because the hit is starting to come through from Order. Apocdud does well to dispatch of Ricky. Order on their way to the A-bomb site, but Vertex have called it. They've heard it, I think. The rotation coming up, and they've got motion there in place. The scout shot rings true onto Valiance. 9 seconds to plant the bomb. Motion wants to make the play again. He goes through the smoke. Similar to what we saw from him on Dust 2, trying to push his way into the B-bomb site through the Molotov, remember. But it puts us back to 3-on-3.
Might have gone a bit overly ambitious. Still winnable here for Vertex, but they need to pick up the pace. There's no kit or any utility for them.
Brace with the CZ in hand isn't going to have too much to do. Apocdud shuts it down. The smoke is going to be the factor, and there isn't really one there for Vertex. They can't get control of this bomb, but they get at least all of the kills. They won't win the round, but they can pick up an AK. I wonder if there's something else on offer here for Brace. He's gone searching all the way into Fountain. But it looks like Order have ferried that gun away, whatever it was. So it'll be a MAC-10 that comes through for the CT side. In the end, a round victory for Order, but a very close thing.
Yeah, they lost a lot of guns in the pursuit of that round. Vertex, I mean, a lot of teams would feel like they'd want to go for a force here, but Vertex, I think, showing quite a bit of confidence, quite happy to just go for some damage here. They've got an AK, they've got a couple of guns which can do some economic damage in terms of the Eagle getting dropped over, and they're feeling good about their CT rounds going forward. Should get an AWP up on PZ. So, look, if Vertex can pull a couple of guns off of Order in this round, then they're looking good going forward on that CT side if they can pick up that first gun round there. As for Order, doing what you'd expect on an anti-eco, smoke into bathrooms, flash over the top of long, as well as a molly in towards Divider.
Wow. That is a shot from Attic. He's been sharp tonight with the Deagle.
Yeah, I'm looking at Apocdud as well, who's in the perfect position. You've lost your player in towards bathrooms. So actually, you can't really clear short A here, but it seems like Vertex is going to go for a boost over the smoke. That's a perfect play. They are playing so well off of each other right now, Jordan. And that's going to be a 5-on-3 here for Vertex. Yes, they don't have great weaponry, but when Ricky's missing smokes like that, you might be feeling a little bit better about things.
He's not too pleased with it either. A little slash of the knife on the wall. You can tell there's some frustration there for Order. Lucian's going to go for a push here, and he's going to spot the information. Gets actually a sizable amount of damage on the Vex site.
I mean, smokes like that are a side effect of not being super comfortable on the map, perhaps. Either way, they're going to kick it off to A.
20 seconds left to work with here for Order. This entry has to be perfect. Decent start there for Ricky, but Apocdud takes one down, and they don't expect PZ, who spams away with the Deagle, leaves it onto Addict.
Oh.
And there's only one place now that Ricky can beat.
Exactly. It's cleared the rest of the site. Ricky going to get the wrap around to bathrooms, so not sure if he'll be heard.
Is there a defuse kit somewhere for Addict to play with? I'm not sure that there is. He's going to tap the bomb. Flash is going to come through. Addict has been spotted off the bomb, or at least the bomb was spotted with no Addict on it, and so that'll be the round one by Order. Oh, such a disappointment for Vertex, who was so close again, and yet so far away.
Yeah, it sucks to not pick that round up, but after all said and done, you know, they're going into their gun round next, and they have once again bankrupted Order. Order just finding such a struggle picking up some of these rounds. It was just such great heads-up play for Vertex. the boost over the smoke. You absolutely love to see those little things. And that's what VERTEX are to me in a nutshell. Great chemistry. They got a lot of gimmick plays, but they also got a lot of big picture strats as well. Into the first gun round though, utility not as good as I actually expected on VERTEX, but it's a decent buy all things considered. They've got that AWP as well. And it seemed like they were anticipating a play towards that B side of the map. Oh,
Nice shot from PZ. You'd love to see him start to ramp things up with the AWP tonight as well. He's been pretty good so far. He can make a big difference on the CT side of Overpass.
for sure. No doubt about that. Auto now in a 4-on-5, and we've talked about it. The last couple of rounds have been a struggle for them. Their money is not thanking them for it, and this could be VERTEX actually kind of hard resetting them on the T side here, which is not something that happens too often nowadays.
It would be good to see the fruits of their labor come to bear. I see a couple of footsteps. I don't even know what I was going for there, Brisky, but either way, he gets the kill.
Technically true. Technically true.
It does get a couple of footsteps, yeah. You're right. Backside has crept his way up toward the A bomb site, but now that he's been spotted out, it's getting a little bit more difficult for him. Motion wins the duel.
Yeah. There's no cohesion at all on this T side, right? This just looks like frustration. Individual players on order just trying to go and make something happen. It's quite uncharacteristic to see them just die to basic angles and miss smokes and things like that. But like I said, this is a side effect of this is not a map that you have a lot of reps and officials on. And that's where some of those mistakes are going to come out. Not to mention the fact that, look, you know, it's a bit of a slack thing to say, but realistically, VERTEX don't actually have very much on the line here. Like, it's good to get a little bit of extra prize money. It's good to play in a top 4 tournament, but they're here to try to upset. They are the ultimate underdogs, being that 4th place team coming in the seeding. Whereas Order are realistically, you know, they're still hoping for Renegades to go down in that upper bracket, but they are still steering their own ship, you know. They are masters of their own destiny if they want to go to the major, and that comes with a whole bunch of extra pressure, no doubt.
That is true. I have to say, the way things are looking at the moment, it doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence for Order that even if Renegades were to get down into that lower bracket, that they would be able to beat them. So, good to see some really fast winds of change coming through for the T side and for Order in general. Need to, of course, get over the line against VERTEX tonight to begin with, and then the rest can be a discussion point. For now, it's kind of what if. Apoc Dud puts Valiance to bed in dirty water. Won't quite get back out alive, though, because Gyra's waiting with the Deagle. And just when you sense the opportunity is there for VERTEX to really start to gain control of this half, Order bounce back again and have the numbers advantage. Alex, nice spray down onto Vexite, but you still is there for the trade, and so if that's all Order does for the rest of this round, they're going to win from here.
Oh, that might be the key frag, though. That's the player taken out of dirty water. There's no way they expect motion there. They saw the flash come over the top from the site. They're thinking, that's just a flashbang for you to check, maybe jump spot truck, maybe try to peek with it, and you're going to stay on site. Maybe you're going to play retake 8. Nope. Motion's all the way up there, straight on top of the flower pot, and he's just going to line them up and knock them down. That breaks Order's money, and VERTEX now able to potentially head into this anti-eco, build their CT side money up, and even take the round leads here.
This is only for Order, not even any armor. And that's a rather unceremonious death for you, Stillo. Addict will just finish him off without a second thought. Looks like he wants to go for a little bit more here. It could cost Addict his life, but he's sharp enough to win that duel. Slowly but steadily, VERTEX are righting the ship.
Looking clean. Haven't dropped a gun yet. They're closing this one up with 5 alive. You know, we're early on in this half. That's where they want to be. Yeah. They're looking sharp as well. 3rd map of the series, and we're seeing crispy aim out of Addict. All right. CT money looking good here, Jordan.
It is indeed. T-Money, not quite so much. Lost bonus will be building up for Order, though. It's at 2,900 right now. Not going to be enough to get them a buy next round if they do drop it here. VERTEX in a good spot, but PZ will bite the bullet of Ricky. So it's an exchange, 1 for 1, which is not the end of the world for VERTEX, so it does still favor Order a little.
Ray's going to find a kill as well. 4-on-4 here. Order going to split up 1-3. Vexite probing into bathrooms, looking for a pick. He's actually kind of circumvented the majority of the CTs over here towards long. That's a great timing for him. The rest of Order creeping out Monster. Both of these teams kind of walking straight past each other, and we're going to end up in a very awkward situation.
Epoch Dud might not like what he is going to see in a second or two. He's going to get forced back away around the corner. Now Flash is headed in his direction, needs the help from Motion, who is able to set himself up nicely with the Org for at least the first, before Gyra will take his head off.
Oh.
But Brace has gotten behind the monster tunnel, takes out Gyra. He saw Ricky as well walking down the steps, so he's aware there's a second there. And that info is given over to Addict. Vexite's making too much noise. They've definitely heard him. And surely no chance in this round anymore with 25 seconds on the board. He's just trying to pick the pace up. He's trying to charge in the direction of that bomb, but VERTEX win another.
I just don't think that VERTEX actually Order kind of put the pieces together in that round. They saw the CTs playing retake on B. They saw one back of ABC and one in heaven, no one on the site. And Vexite's able to walk all the way through bathrooms onto the A site, and he's calling for them to come back to A. But you're thinking to yourself, all right, where are the rest of the CTs? Are they just 4 stacked on B? Well, that's not super likely. So surely it's a long setup, right? But I guess they didn't expect that the CTs would push all the way through long into their spawn. And unfortunately, that's where Vexite calling, hey, I've got this A site for free. If you just rotate straight up connector, we've got this round, ends up being a death sentence, because VERTEX has already taken the entire map. And that's what I'm liking from VERTEX at the moment. That's the main thing that I'm absolutely loving seeing, is that not only on an individual basis are they unafraid to go out there and take duels and take initiative, and a lot of the time winning it, but they're also just making plays as a unit. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Order, no doubt. And I also want to mention as well that VERTEX, they're taking a lot of agency here on the CT side, but actually, from the last 7 or 8 games, they have a much stronger T side than CT. They get a lot of their rounds on the T side.
That's a good point. I just realized I lost 30,000 channel points on that last map. So that's unfortunate for me.
You mad, bro?
I went all in on Order to win Ancient, and they did not. So I wouldn't say I'm mad. I'm just a bit disappointed.
Don't
now
worry.
It's 4-on-5. I should have gone all in on VERTEX to win this one, to be honest, and I might be able to get some of my channel points back. They're looking good. Addict continues to be sharp. He's being pressured by Ustillo, but he'll be safe from behind, he'd think. The backup of his teammates. Not quite. In the end, he does actually go down to Ustillo, but overall, numbers are looking pretty solid here for VERTEX in this round. PZ with the AWP, still locking down the A bomb side, and even though Ricky and Ustillo are headed in his direction, he's got the backup of his teammates. He can keep an eye on long, knowing that Epoch Dud is watching toward bathrooms, although that maybe didn't quite get communicated. 6-3 still. Works out for VERTEX. They take the AWP through to the next round.
Yeah, their money's looking great. I'm sure there's going to be some people out there who have lost a little bit more than channel points on this map. I think the odds were, what, we saw them come up at the start of the half.
1 to 7.
I can't remember what they, 1 to 6 or 1 to 7 or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But equally, that's a lot of people who are not going to be happy if VERTEX are going to be picking up Overpass here. Either way, I will be happy because I love VERTEX. I love seeing an upset. And they damn well deserve it. There's nothing gimmicky going on right now. VERTEX are playing some rock solid CS, and I'm here for it.
I'm a big fan. I'm a a big fan of what we're seeing here. This could be a real upset in the making. Still only 9 rounds into the first half of the third map, but VERTEX continues to impress, and the more we see of them in this series, the more likely it looks that they're actually going to be able to do this.
Bit unlucky though. Addict just gets popped through the top side of that smoke. Pretty weird spot to be pre-firing. I think Ricky may be trying to pre-fire the boost there and just catches Addict in transition. But this is where VERTEX are not afraid on that CT side to make pushes to take map control. Gyra actually does pick up PZ here. Brace still with some long control.
He's in a good spot to shut down this push from Order. See if they clear him out. Doesn't look like that's happened. Gyra managed to grab his death. And Apoc Dud getting another one. Order just can't get into any of these bomb sites. Ricky is walking his way into B, but I'm afraid it's a bit too little too late. You slow with 30 seconds, can't get his way down there, and if he does, I mean, he's going to have to make a bunch of noise. You're already starting to see that info coming through for the CT side as well. But a nice shot from Ustillo makes at least a possibility that this round can still go the way of Order.
He's got a cross to the site, though. The cross on ABC, denied. Ricky, he should have been controlling that angle, maybe anticipating that both of those players would have been towards the A side of the map, and that's the second time where Order, they tried to call the audible and go back towards the other side of the map, but they haven't taken the map control to be able to do it, unfortunately. Half of that work in terms of making those rotations comes down to the default, comes down to the work that you do in the early to mid round. You have to be going back, you have to be taking that connector control, you know, ensuring that you know what's clean and what's dirty, and that you're pushing the CTs back and denying them information. And if you can't, you know, if you can't dot your I's and cross your T's and go through all of the steps required, then you really can't be running the clock down. You have to play a bit more of a straight up game, if you ask me.
Might be another buy to come through from Order into round number 11. Open hand for PZ, Addict, and Apoc Dud seem to be the two that have been doing the majority of the work for VERTEX on this CT side so far. 12-5 and 11-3 respectively. No, but even Brace, he's been doing well. 8-3 for himself. Faster play in towards short order from Brace this time. He's going to take the challenge off the back of the flash, and that's a double to start the round.
I keep seeing these plays, right, where these are not super uncommon utility sets on Overpass, and Order is just getting caught super hard by them. It's really weird to watch. Because I feel like a lot of the time they would be super switched on to that kind of play. But seeing no one anti-flash on that exact flash that you see, you know, it's not like that's a special play or anything. That's something that, you know, it's pretty common. But two players getting caught completely blind and just die for free, it just doesn't feel like Order to me.
Well, maybe it's not. Credit where it's due for VERTEX. They are really putting Order under the pump. And I think Order at this point is starting to feel the pressure now. If it was not starting to come through on map number 2, then down 7-3, potentially, most likely 8-3 on map 3, then your chances of going to the major are quite quickly dwindling away. They weren't good to begin with, but now they're really not good.
Oh, this would be a good way to get back into the round. A kill off the boost. They're going to get it too.
Yeah, but with 16 seconds left, Apoc Dud is just going to push his way up through short. Catch Gyra off. The bomb is still making its way through Monster Tunnel. And I can't imagine he gets the bomb down here when there's a player hiding inside of the smoke. Brace makes it look easy. And so does VERTEX. 3 guns alive. 8-3 the scoreline. Order in shambles. Their money's not looking good at all. And VERTEX are just dominating the CT side of Overpass right now.
Yeah. And this is where I look at a team like VERTEX, and I'm sure it must feel good for them that all of this pack that they put in, all of the work that they put in to diversify their map pool, a lot of that, in ideal circumstances, is to be able to gatekeep other teams. And usually that's what the purpose is. You're gatekeeping the teams that are below your level out by going wide on the map pool. But actually, here is where it comes in clutch because, with the shift in the map pool, you see Train go out, which was a favorite of a lot of these top teams in Oceania. Now you're starting to see some adoption of Overpass, a map that a lot of these top three teams didn't really like to play too much. And Vertex are being rewarded for incorporating that into their map pool in a game against a top team in Oceania. It's got to feel good, no doubt.
I'm seeing the viewer numbers bumping up a little bit on the channel, and
Yep.
I'm hoping this is a nice appetizer for all of you waiting for the CIS matches to start in about an hour.
I mean, not only that, but this is OCS. We always love an underdog in AU. Always back in the underdog.
And Vertex are proving exactly why we love them so much right now. Auto is really struggling on this T side of Overpass, and I don't even know if they expected this one to go to Overpass, but maybe...
You saw as well, look at Valiant's money. He invested into that one. He went Galil Armor with util. Now he's going to have 3.5 heading into that next round.
Well, it's not coming together for Order, is it? 9-3. The deeper we go into this half, the better the scoreline looks for Vertex, and the less likely Order feels like to win a round. They're just getting more and more convincing from Vertex.
Yeah, it's not a close half. The CTs, they've never been at the brink of having to eco. They're multi-frag super hard. It feels like everything they do works. Hell, why not? Why not just run straight through a smoke into party? That's the confidence you're talking about with Vertex. Addict is just wide peaking some of the best players in the country. He does not care.
He sets himself on the line at the B bomb side as well. There's a couple of players headed in his direction. B has been left relatively open by the CT side. Still, they can win this duel and Brace goes down on B, then the round might start to fall apart a little bit for Vertex. But at least Addict is able to grab one. Some unfortunate timing for Brace. Bomb still has to get to the site though, and Addict is controlling short water. He can actually deal with this cross. And I wonder if Order has the heads-up play enough to recognize that fact. He's going to check it, and he does his due diligence. Well done from Order. This looks like it should be their first round in a long time. Unless Motion pulls off the impossible, a 1-on-3.
Bomb's still not down just yet. They're still quite concerned about this short part of the map. Gyra on top of the barrels, though. A good enough off angle. Good round from Order. And, we've had an insane streak from Vertex. It seemed like absolutely nothing that they can do could possibly go wrong. But Order here, let's be real, it's Order. A lot of experience, a lot of clutch factor on this team. If they peg back a couple on this T side towards the end of this half, it's anyone's game. But then, again, I go back to Vertex has a very good T side on this map.
That's the stat that might be hanging over the heads of Order, that even if they do get to 6, it might not be enough. Vertex have looked very comfortable on the CT side. There's no reason to expect that that's not going to be the case moving on to T as well. And Brace, once again, opens up another round in favor of Vertex. Pushes on all the extremities, it doesn't even necessarily have to be up towards A. There's, pushes going into short water. There's pushes out the monster tunnel. There's pushes into bathroom. And of course, we just see there on long. PZ not quite able to land the shot.
It hasn't even been PZ. He's got 6 kills on the CT side of Overpass.
Yeah.
It's like one of his better halves out of any map. It just goes to show you, Vertex is just finding opening picks, duels, all over the map. They've been so aggressive. How does Order convert this 4-on-5 though? Valiant's going back for the bomb. Some bathrooms control has been taken by Order, and they're actually already starting to execute this A site. Not going in with the smokes just yet though. Oh, this looks like a bit of a double pump, to be honest. They want to make it look like a fake and then walk into the site late.
Not sure that that is going to be fooling Vertex. They've still got numbers up here. And Brace hiding behind the smoke as it fades. We'll get the trade onto Gyra, but Valiance is there to sort of ensure that at least it's a 3-on-3. Plant is going down. Double nade in on top of Valiance doesn't do as much damage as you might expect. Motion tries to take a challenge. That's APOC done to bail him out of trouble. Valiance goes down. Can he get another one? Well, Vexite might be on the cards today for Order to bring it back into something impressive, unless PZ has some words about it. You still spotted, and PZ pulls off another one. Vertex, everything they touch turns to gold. And that is 10 on the CT side. Double digits secured with 1 round to play.
Missed all the easy shots, of course. You know, lining them up towards Monster. Can't connect. 1v2 clutch. Post-plant scenario. It seems like you put PZ under pressure and he just starts hitting. Order now. Last chance for them to secure themselves around on this T side before we start talking about that next half. It's still a good buy here for Vertex. They've done a phenomenal job stringing these rounds together. They have had no economic woes at all on this CT side, which is crazy in this current meta. That means you're winning rounds, and you're winning rounds cleanly.
Well, at the very least, Order hasn't lost a player right off the bat in this round.
Slow kind of default. Smoke onto bathroom, mollied onto divider. Flash over the top. Very, very common kind of stuff. PZ, well aware of this kind of default. Gonna drop a smoke onto divider. Ooh, that was looking dangerous. Could have lost his life to Gyra there, but he's gonna start falling back to the site. There's a lot of players on B for Vertex. They don't have any control of this A side of the map.
They're about to, though. They got the info. They boosted up onto short. Had a bit of a look to see into short water, and they recognize there's nothing really going on there. So they'll bring the extra couple of players back up to A, but now we start to see Order, I feel like, showing a bit of a tendency towards the B bomb site now. Some util going on to A, but it's more of a fake than anything else.
Yep. And trying to keep 3 on that A site, maybe even pull an additional rotation. Valiance has been lurking in short water. 20 seconds on the clock for them to get into B.
Saw it on Ancient a lot of times, catching the better of Order, and might do so again here on Overpass. Their entries, however, are looking good, and the bomb plant will go down. So, numbers are certainly there for the T side. You still caught on the way out by Brace. Back to a 3-on-3, definitely doable for Vertex. A smoke and a flash to work with. Addict is already down on the site. Valiance progressing nicely into a really tough spot to deal with. This one difficult to check for Vertex. Brace is going to be the one to do so, and he'll actually just drive by Valiant. Cleans him up nicely. Back now to the 2-on-3, and Vertex continue to impress. It's Vexite to fall, and the defuse secured by PZ. That is going to be an 11-4 half from Vertex against Order on map number 3. What a start to the final map for Vertex. The upset potential, if you didn't believe in it until now, is suddenly starting to get a bit too real. Into the second half we go in just the second half, Pilski. I mean, you were talking about it in the first half there for Vertex's perspective. Their T sides moving into this second half are looking a little bit better than what they normally post on the CT side of Overpass. But if there is one stat, one ray of sunshine for Order, it's that their CT side is generally a little bit stronger than their T sides on Overpass. So maybe there is still a world that they can come back into this.
Yeah, it's hard to make that argument though when you're talking about a sample size of 2 maps, which is like around, and I think they were both like 16:9, 16:10. So we're talking like what? I'm really bad at maths on the fly, like 50 rounds of CS, whereas Vertex, you're talking about like 7 or 8 games, and some of them even OTs. That's a good start though, if you're hoping for an Order comeback, and if you subscribe to the thought that they are stronger on that CT side, which the stats do, although limited, tell you that that's true. How will Vertex turn around this 4-on-5 here though?
They're not going to do too much to Apoc Dud, but it might distract him for half a second. See what Motion can do. He's got another challenge ahead of him. And Ricky's just a little bit too good with that USP at a distance. You'd expect him to win that fight most days of the week.
Yeah.
But today doesn't feel like most days of the week for Order, does it?
No, definitely not. But we talked about it before. A lot of big game experience on this Order roster. A lot of talent, no doubt. So if there's any team that can bring a comeback together here, it is them. They've started this pistol off nicely, so that's kind of the first step on the little journey here. If they can deny a bomb plant, that's definitely going to make some of those second round buys a little bit less deadly.
Very slow approach from the remaining Vertex players. Addict was trying to get across to join Brace in his B-bomb site execute. I say execute in the loosest of terms. He can't quite get the bomb down though.
I don't know if that's an execute that many people should try to be emulating.
True.
Almost looked like Brace's like jump throw maybe didn't work there or something like that. Just pegs the smoke into Monster and then,
Yeet.
well, guess I'm going to go try and get the bomb down.
Well, pissed around on the board for Order. It is good news. And in fact, they're actually not going to have to face a particularly difficult round here. It's just the Glocks. So normally you'd see the T side fly up a little bit into a round like this, but they've got something else up their sleeve. This might actually work out. Push coming through from the tunnel is actually going to be pretty good from Order in the end. It looked like it was going to be a nice firing squad for Vertex, but the flash just way too good.
Yep, a lot of money from the MP9s there as well. That's going to help Order out. Like I said, cleaning that round out without a bomb plant, you could see Brace trying to stick that plant down because maybe they were thinking about that second round buy. And I dare say if the C4 hits the ground there, they probably do go for some kind of a buy up. But Vertex now in towards round number 3 of this half, round number 18 overall. They're going to go for this AK buy up. Bit of money behind Order. Clean pistol, clean anti-eco. That's the start to the half that you're wanting if you want to see them put the pieces of this game back together. Where's Motion playing? Does seem like he's going to be in the pack over here towards the A side of the map, so doesn't have to perform his role autonomously. Can sort of follow a little bit of direction and slot in with the rest of Vertex.
Bit of a slower approach this time around from Vertex. Clearing out long, Brace is keeping an eye on that area of the map. The rest of the lads working their way into bathrooms.
They're saving a lot of utility. You know, usually you see the T's use a lot of utility to work their way through this part of the map. But when there's no AWP, you don't have to worry about it as much. Ricky making that scoped rifle look like an AWP at this point, although you can't multi-frag like that. A 4K for him. And that has fallen apart for Vertex. This is looking like a clean round on the CT side. And all of a sudden, well, that was a very nice first half, but it is very much looking great for Order at this point.
A good first half does not a map win make, Pilski. Vertex put in the hard yards. They got to 11. What is that from PC? What was that spray transfer? Well, it doesn't matter in the end because he still goes down, but it's a bit more costly for Order than it could have been. But you're exactly right. 11 rounds on the first half from Vertex. Fantastic. Credit where it's due. But if they can't put it together in the second half here on the T side, then, you know, it's all for naught, really. Oh, that was disgusting.
Well, they're going to have a bit more room to continue building up that money. This is kind of like the ideal start to the CT side, if anything. Clean as you'd like. Anti-eco, first gun round, goes beautifully. Triple nade over there onto the boost. And those are the kind of things that, I mean, you see it's a good little mop up here for Vertex side, but those are the kind of things that it shows you the kind of team that Vertex is for anyone who's not familiar. They are a team that's very well drilled. They got great strats. They got great tactics. They do things like triple nading the jump spot and whatnot.
Yeah, they're a good solid squad.
Yeah, put time into learning a lot of those little nuances and gimmicks and whatnot.
However, Pilski, they were up 11-4 at the half, and now the scoreline's 11-8. So
yeah,
it's starting to creep closer.
It's going to be a grind on this T side. There's no doubt about it.
It'll be a grind on the CT side as well. Either way, we're expecting a close map between Vertex and Order. That's what we got on the first two maps, and it would be disappointing if the third did not deliver it as well. Guns in hand again for Vertex, and they're going to just spread out across the map. APOC dud up on the top side. You have Attic down in Underpass, and a couple of the other lads really pressuring towards B. Brace very extended towards short.
Brace has just got full short water control right off the bat in that round. APOC dud, he's done a good job of, like you said, pressuring that upper side. He threw his util set towards bathrooms, made it look like a bit of a default over there. So actually, Vertex have denied a lot of information from Order, and now they're going to go back and explode onto this B side of the map, I think. I'm looking at Gyra's counter flashes, though. He's always great with them.
Has two. Here's PZ going to line up a piece of utility. Smoke does fade in the monster tunnel, and just check that one out before he fires this Molotov off into the B site. Vertex, as of yet, not pulling the trigger, but APOC dud catching Vexite on the swing for info. Valiant's fully flashed. Excellent work from Vertex as they start to make their way into the bomb site. Gyra down on 9 HP will be dispatched off by Motion, and you couldn't think of a better take on the B bomb site.
Absolutely. You said it, man. Like, oh my god. Chef kiss levels of utility. Molotov flushes the player out from close, easy isolation, flash over the top, doesn't blind the Ts, blinds the CTs. These are utils that we've seen before, but Vertex is using them to perfection. And I think the key word, as you said, it is clean, real clean. 5 alive here for Vertex. They're going to build up some money and win the round without too much effort, really.
Definitely not going to be enough to break the CT. 9.9 there from Gyra. Gets boosted up above double digits. Same for Ustillo. So it's going to take a few rounds in a row here from Vertex to dispatch of Order's CT economy. But at that point in time, you know, once we get to the point where Order's money starts to break, then they might actually be in that territory, you know? You lose that round that breaks your economy, you can't fight for the rounds, and pretty much the map's over.
Yeah, not only in terms of the map scoreline, but like, you know, in the current meta, if you have this kind of money on the CT side and you're not able to convert some rounds, then your CT side is probably not good enough to win the map anyway. You know, usually you're trying to put the pieces together, you're trying to live paycheck to paycheck on that CT side in the current meta, unless you get a super solid start like this. So if you do get a clean start to the CT side like Order have gotten in this game, then you need to be making that work for yourself.
Stillo, nice push up past Fountain. It catches Addict off guard. But there is a little bit of a wrap coming through from the T side as well. He's making a lot of noise. I stumble over my words. But he is up the creek without a paddle. Motion does eventually fall. PZ doesn't need to do too much work because APOC dud gets it done. It's 3 versus 3. The trades do come through from Vertex. But Order
Ooh.
starting to stamp their mark on this round. Another kill for Valiance. This is a round that just seemed to blow up all of a sudden.
Yeah. Valiant's on the push through, though. Let's convert that one frag, but they're well aware of the positioning of Apoc Dud now. Gyra playing close, hearing the footsteps, going to position himself behind the sandbags appropriately.
He doesn't really have the time to go back up to the A site, so he kind of has to commit to B here. And as soon as he taps that bomb on the floor, Gyra's just going to swing. And Apoc Dud wasn't expecting it. So Order win themselves another round. Get one step closer to equalizing, although it does sort of feel like one step forward, one step back, considering Vertex just managed to win the previous round. So we have that deficit of 3 still. Money's pretty good on the T side, though.
Yep. They had a clean round win with that B site execute. So that will definitely be doing them a lot of favors after dropping that round. What's the go-to for Vertex? They've shown a lot of tendency to just have that one player working towards B. Honestly, that was kind of cool to see that from Ustillo. You know, kind of reminds me of when he was playing in Renegades. He would often go for aggressive plays like that. In Order, I feel like you don't really see that much of that from him anymore. It's more so Vexite who's kind of taken that role in that space. That's a good pick from Ricky, though. And he's going to, similar to PZ, drop that smoke in bathrooms, try to safeguard his exit out of the toilets.
PZ chimes in with one as well. Again, back to 4-on-4, and all-out brawl still continuing on Overpass. Sort of reminiscent of what we saw on Ancient, where there's just fights on both sides of the map.
Yeah. The difference is that Order doesn't have any info. Vertex do have map control. Not only that, but they also have, obviously, the upside of having that assertiveness and the ability to pick where to go on the T side. So they're going to split up 2 apiece and start heading towards B. Valiant's playing close towards Monster. Gyro with only 1 counter flash to help him out.
Valiant's keeping an eye on Monster. Time is starting to tick away for Vertex. They've only got 30 seconds here. They'll start to make their way through the tunnel. Excellent flash from Gyra. Sets it up nicely for Valiant, and he's not going to need to do too much work on too short. Order have closed the gap now to 2. And Vertex suffer a rather untimely defeat. 4 guns alive for Order.
I was saying it literally like in that round where the B execute was coming out. I'm like, Gyro's got 2 flashes. He is so sick on the counter flash timings on this site. Didn't work out that previous round, but that round, that flash just won it for Order. Sets up for the multi-frag in Monster and even has short covered off as well. And I guess that's where the meme comes in. You could literally go on the Order Army Twitter and there is a meme. Shut down B rushes with this one simple trick, and it's a picture of Gyro with his trusty short flash. And that is exactly why that meme exists. He's done it again.
A little bit of a self-plug there, Pilsy.
I didn't make it. Order made it.
But you were in the meme.
Am I?
I think so. 12-10 though, the scoreline, and Vertex have invested a couple of hero AKs in this round. So it's not the be-all, end-all for the T side just yet. But it's starting to get to that point where you think Order's looking a little bit more comfortable in this second half, and Vertex is going to need to dig deep and find something. But they might not be able to do it over at the B bomb site, because Valiance is on an absolute tear this evening. The rest of Order are catching up as well. It's starting to look better and better. It's
worrisome, isn't it? I mean, that was only a half buy, but Gyra is playing that support B role super well. Alex is multi-fragging up a storm. You go to the other side of the map, Ricky's AWPing you. Seems like everything's going up Order at the moment. And look, we were saying it before. What was the score at the half? 11-4?
Yep.
This has been a 7-1 half for Order. Oh my god. Surely the blood's pumping now. The momentum's starting to swing back in their favor, and Vertex is kind of thinking to themselves like, oh my god, how are we getting around here?
Sure, there's something left in in the strat book. Motion just going to pop a smoke on top of the molly, try to pick the pace up into B, but he's answered by a grenade. Vexite finding some info as well.
That's what it was about. It was just about the short B control. They weren't looking to execute the side or anything. Just putting motion in that position is what they were going for. Apoc Dart again, working that A side of the map, using that utility just to be able to limit the information to the CTs, try and push them back a little bit and give VERTEX more options, more map control, and more contingency plans, as well as just stop Order from being so well informed, flash over long. A minute on the clock here. No doubt this is going to be a case of VERTEX running down the clock, but this is what I was talking about on Order's T side, where you need to run your default and get all the map control in your favor to have the ability to fake, to run down the clock, and have those protocols available. And that's what VERTEX have done here. They've gone through the hard yards. They've set up for a lot of this map control. How is PZ not able to see the CT there?
Well, the CT is able to see PZ, and that is another one in the pocket for Order. Ricky was just posted on that line for so long, and eventually he finds his man.
Just crouched. If he was standing up there, I dare say PZ gets him. But this is the reroute I was talking about, back towards V.
Fast play from VERTEX, and they're going to have to go quickly, aren't they? 15 seconds left here. They're still not into the bomb site. They need to find the openers, and so far they're not coming cleanly. Brace drops the bomb. That's the round over. Apoc Dud surely can't get up there and plant it in time. He had to take the fight against Gyra, and in doing so, gave himself not enough time to collect the bomb and plant it on the floor. So, Order equalizes, brings it back to 12 apiece.
And you're certainly backing them now. They were super worried in that first half. It just seemed like everything was going VERTEX's way, but it's come back the complete opposite direction now. However, when the scorelines have gotten close this entire series, VERTEX has shown that they are quite tenacious, that they keep fighting for the game, they don't just roll over and die. So I'm hoping they continue to show that fight, because it feels like Order is just, they could do no wrong right now.
That's exactly what we were saying about VERTEX on their CT side. Tech9 going to be no match for Brace, or for Ustillo, I should say. But is at least able to swing around and get the trade, but he then loses his life and the AK.
Oh, hold on.
That's a nice one from Motion. He does overwhelm Ricky, collects the AWP, AK in the hands of PZ now, and you got Motion set on the line here, waiting for the push to come through. Gyra loses his life to a Tech9 of all things. And that is now an M4 in the hands of Addict. It might finally be the round that VERTEX has been looking for. Unless Valiant and Vexite can pull off some magic for Order. They have been good in this series so far. Valiant in particular has been a real standout.
Oh.
But he's going to have to do it solo. Motion steps up in the unlikeliest of rounds. Valiant loses his life again, and Motion a 3K. He pulls a rabbit out the hat for VERTEX and gets them one round ahead.
Oh, those are the rounds where you're looking at the fountain push and Ricky being in that kind of a position against pistols, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. Doesn't always go that way, but that's the kind of round where anti-eco or anti-half-buy up against the pistolers. You don't want to be in positions like that, I don't think. Either way, VERTEX, those are the kind of rounds that might settle your nerves a little bit, allow you to get rolling yet again after a bit of a dry spell. You win with the half-bite, cause a bit of an upset, puts the pressure back on your opponents. They're once again doing a pretty good job of working the map here. Con control goes the way of Addict. Apoc Dud throwing the right utilities just to be able to pressure Ricky off these angles and limit the risk for the T side losing that first pick.
Trying to find any info with that AWP, trying to find a pick more so. Has got Ustillo set up as well. VERTEX are not going to push the issue just yet. Fighting their time more than anything else. Addict has been caught by that Molotov. Ricky, and a chance here. But Apoc Dud, let's just get the better of him. Down to 46 HP the AWP. They still don't know that Ustillo is here though. VERTEX are spending a lot of time in this area of the map. do have motion progress quite nicely up short. He's behind sandbags. You see the rotate coming back across from VERTEX. Would this be a masterstroke to get into the B bomb site? Well, they're going to have to go quickly. Through the molly, Brace is just going to send it. It works out for him. PZ trades him down, and the bomb plant can get on the floor. Nice cover from PZ here as well. Motion will drop. Oh, no, he won't! PZ, what a shot! And now it's 3-on-2. VERTEX might just, at the 11th hour, be able to pull off a win here against Order, who was so good on the CT side. Ustillo works it forward, a triple kill, and Order survive another one.
Oh my god. That was just such a well set up round for VERTEX. Like I said before, these are the fundamentals on Overpass. You take the short B control, you throw that A utility and pressure that part of the map, and all of a sudden you've got these contingencies, you've got this fake potential. To be honest, it was kind of ludicrous that the entries went that well for them. But all was for naught. A massive play from Ustillo, massive 3k on that retake back into the site. Keeps it alive for Order. And now at 13 apiece. I'm kind of looking at the money for both of these teams, looking at the loss bonus for both of these teams, and it's getting a little sweaty, Jordan.
It's much the same position we were in on Ancient.
No doubt.
That is where VERTEX came away with the goods. They just had a few really solid rounds. But it has felt like a different half to what we watched at the later stages of Ancient, right? That was always VERTEX kind of coming back into it, having a solid half. Here it's been VERTEX lucky to get away with a round, here and there. You know, they were 11 coming into this round. They had 11 rounds, so they've only picked up 2.
Look at this from Order. Last round, so aggressive on Divider, prioritizing that bathroom's control. This time, they've left that A side of the map open, but VERTEX has to respect that bathroom control, and they've taken so long to work this A side of the map. 55 seconds. They could have just gone through there for free, obviously, unbeknownst to them. But VERTEX have now taken that control. They throw that progression smoke down long. But Order, yeah, you do see the rotation. You still are going to respect it. He's going to go back up towards that A site, give Ricky a little bit of assistance, but VERTEX in the meanwhile, regrouping back towards this B side of the map. Gyra's got a molly. Gyra's got a flash. This is it.
Has a smoke as well, and he's down on B2. So if he pops that one onto short, the molly goes onto Monster. It could be bad news. Instead, the smoke's going to go in front of Valiant. Molotov still lands at his feet, but it gives so much space for Order to dance around on the bomb site. Valiant survives, and Apopdud is not confident now in placing the bomb. He has to use one of his smokes to provide himself the opportunity to do so. And in the meanwhile, the trades continue to look favorable for the CT side. Order have a 3-on-2, but they have no util to get into this bomb site. Pilski, Gyra creeping close. PZ will lose his life. And it's on to Apopdud in a 1-on-3. He needs to pull out a Ustillo-esque performance, but in the end, he drops to Ustillo. And it's 14 on the board for Order. They find for the first time a round advantage on map number 3.
The money's still there, though, for VERTEX. They've been copying the large majority of the losses in this half, which means that on top of the bomb plant, they have this loss bonus, and obviously on the T side, a little bit easier to string these buys together. Tactical timeout for VERTEX. They're going to put their heads together and have a bit of a chat about how they can break this dry spell. Order has been rock solid on this CT side. $14's up for them. There is a chance, though, the money is still fragile on the CT side. If VERTEX can win some of these last couple of rounds, look at the loss bonus for Order. 1,400.
Well, there is no loss bonus because they haven't been losing.
There's no loss bonus. There's no cash in the bank either, though. So this CT side is on a teetering point, right?
Can be a recipe for disaster. Needs to be perfection from Order. But the same can be said for VERTEX, and I keep going back to the fact that they've only won 2 rounds on this half, and they still need to win 3. So you put those 2 pieces of information together, and it doesn't look so crash hot for VERTEX. Sure, I suppose they'd take 2. They'd take 2 to make it to overtime.
Oh, this is actually huge. That boost sees that there's absolutely no short control for VERTEX. That's a bit of a tell, honestly. Ricky, aggressive on this bathroom side, might just get a freebie for himself. Race walks straight into his crosshair.
Yeah, Vertex are going to try and trade it down. Apoc Dart. Oh, Ricky with a collateral. He gets one more on the swing around as well. And that might be a map-winning play for Order. Ricky, so dominant on Ancient. Has done it again here on Overpass. And Motion, the sub for Vertex. Tasked with the 1-on-3 to deny Order at least overtime point. Not in the first. He's expecting Vexite from the same angle, and in the end, 15 is on the board. Ricky, that was disgusting.
That was so absurd. Just shotgun AWPing, having to 180, cover multiple angles, the collapse. Kind of the cherry on top, you would think, but even turns around and just hits that quick scope to add insult to injury to secure series point here for Order. Maybe not in the fashion that they wanted or expected. But Vertex, they still get a buy. 3,400 loss bonus.
Orb's still out in the hands of Ricky. Dangerous times for Vertex. And PZ loses his life early on once again. Vertex will remain with 4. But their chances in this round dwindle.
They're trying to run much the same kind of strat here, Jordan. Apply pressure towards that B side of the map. Go over here and just try to create chaos. They're running the exact same strat. They're running straight back into Ricky.
Addict has copped a lot of damage as well from that AWP, and Vertex are on their last legs, it feels like. Ricky, John begging there. It might not yet punish him, though, because Order seem to be all over this. They've got the rotation coming up. They've got numbers on the A bomb site. Vertex will call the pause, slow things down.
For what, though? They don't really have any map control or any utility here. I guess they applied that pressure to short B earlier, so they're kind of hoping that Order hasn't regained that map control, that maybe they respect the fact that Vertex can go back towards B, but here's the re-execute, just a single smoke and the flash to go in.
Gyra's in the perfect position to shut it down. Double kill turns into 3. Apoc Dud is the last one to fall, and Brace, the last one alive for Vertex. Their chances have slipped away. They had so many opportunities.